comes to having a bird's eye view of global sport tech, few can come close to Unmish Parthasarathi, the founder of Pictureboard Partners, a Singapore-based communications and strategy practice dedicated to sports. Unmish, welcome to New Delhi. Thank you for making that long trip from Singapore. How has the ride been so far?
It's been very good. Always good to be back home. Way back when I was born at the All India Medical Institute, so it's literally good to be back home.
Excellent. He's feeling very much close to home, proverbially and literally. Unmish, if you can locate where sport tech is in the subcontinent right now and contextualize with the global narrative, how would you go about that?
You see, I think there are two things, right? Any technology, for it to be adopted, needs two things. It needs to be having a product market fit, and then whoever has the product needs to be able to make money. If you look at the certain business model which have emerged in the last 30 years around sport, whether it is Hotstar, whether it is Jio, the model that they've actually adopted has been very different to what's been the copy and paste in the West. The big difference with sports tech in the Indian context is I believe that Indian sports tech companies are going to actually service the third world and the global south. So it's no different than the Swedish and the Israeli companies who in the last 20 years have serviced, say, European football, the IOC, and the American sports economy. So I really see, what happened with the BPO, KPO wave way back then, but that was very much a first world to third world phenomenon. I see Indian sports tech companies predominantly succeeding. That's their market size and market share, which is the global south.
In that context, Unmish, how big and monumental is this event, a collaboration between IIT Madras and Outlook Business, and how do you see this partnership affecting Indian sport tech ecosystem at large?
See, it's great to be invited. I tell you why. I probably do about between 8 and 10 events around the world on sports tech on an annual basis. Everything from London, Jeddah, Bombay, Riyadh, Tokyo, various places. I have never been to an event which has been hosted by an academic institution. They are either hosted by chambers of commerce or by a federation or by an event promoter. So the very fact that the genesis of the event is actually, and the patronage fundamentally has come from an institution of learning, is in itself quite distinctive. Secondly, it's an institution of technology, which is a very important part. And thirdly, I think the Madras campus in particular is at a cusp where Ramesh has come in, looking to commercialize the pure research into sort of applied developing solutions for the market. So I think the genesis and the foundation is extremely good. We just take it one day at a time.
And the ethos of this event is largely hinged on dreaming big, especially in the lead up to 2036, which is when India expect to host the Olympics and the Paralympics on home soil. By then, so we are talking 12 years from now, how do you see the sports tech narrative and the understanding of the same changing in this country?
See, Bill Gates very famously said something. He said that we tend to overestimate short-term impact and underestimate long-term impact, because compounding, the value of compounding is not something that we think about on a day-to-day basis. But if you start thinking of a decade, and if you start thinking of the fact that you're looking to service a country with a dozen languages, as many sports codes, gender, participation, physical disability, the field is very, very large. That means many more problem statements exist. If the problem statements exist, the biggest gain for sports tech in India is that the last 10 years has made entrepreneurship socially acceptable. So today, all the bright young things would not take the H-1B and build a solution to a problem at home. So there's a demographic shift, there's a social shift, and there's going to be a technological shift.
So Make in India is the kind of principle that you think our country is going to hinge on its principles?
I would go further. I think Make in India for the world, because, assuming the next 10 years that the population is going to be 10 billion, on conservative estimates, at least a third of that, if not more, is going to be within a 5-hour flying distance of India. Now, if you start looking at geographical addressability from that perspective and the whole third world, global south argument that I had earlier, it's the moment's here and now.
1.4 plus billion populace is what we are talking about. And it is people like Unmish who keep making a lot of difference to the ecosystem. And long may his efforts continue, along with the likes of allies in the form of Outlook Business and IIT Madras.